Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's session. I'm going to put my video on briefly and I will, okay, I cannot, I don't have the rights to do that. But you are more than welcome to listen to my beautiful voice. My name is Daniel Dechashu. I am with the Southern Africa Litigation Center. Oh, there goes my right. I hope you can see my face. Welcome to today's webinar. I'm just here to welcome you and then hand over to Bradley, who will be moderating this together with our Lesotho partners. Just a few housekeeping rules. We ask that today's engagement is respectful. We ask that we keep this as safe as possible. And then I just want to let the participants know that your mics and videos for safety and security have been disabled. However, during presentations from advocates and other speakers, you're more than welcome to raise your hands, and then we will ask you to unmute yourself. The chat box is also there to be used in case you are unable to speak. We are going to be going live on Facebook. So for those who don't know, our social media page is Southern Africa Litigation Center, and I believe that Metrics will also be sharing the live link. I'm going to hand it over to my colleague Bradley, who will take you through introductions and the overview of the webinar. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Danny. I hope everyone can see me. Yes, there we go. Dumelang. I hope everyone is doing well in the kingdom. Just heard that it's very, very cold there. So sending you guys some warmness all the way from Botswana. As my colleague Danny mentioned, my name is Bradley Fortain, and I'm with the Southern Africa Litigation Center. And today we are co-hosting this webinar on filing complaints with the Office of the Ombud in collaboration with our partners from Lesotho, which is the People's Matrix Association and Singoli Legal Center. And as well as the Office of the Ombud in Lesotho, and also with everyone who is present here. Yeah, before I just do a quick background, I'll just hand it over to TP to just do a quick welcome for everyone here. Yeah, and over to you, TP.
Thank you very much, Bradley and
muted.
Colleagues. Am I audible now?
You're audible.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you very much, colleagues, for joining in, and Bradley for the background, and Sinudi for agreeing to partner together with the Office of the Ombudsman. This is one of the key sessions that we are hosting together to ensure that at least people have clear understanding of how to file the complaints in the country, and also how to make use of the systems in the country. Without taking much of the time, I think I will just ask people to feel free to ask questions in the chat box, and we'll be able to attend to such while the presentation goes on. So, meaning so that we don't forget our questions. So, yeah, feel free. It's a flexible session. We're happy to have you in the at the point where you feel you need to share some of the insights and some of the strategies that might maybe enhance the session in the next in the next future, then we are open to engage and to have any reflections on the session. Thank you very much. Enjoy the session. Bradley, you're muted.
Oh, there we go. There we go. I was saying thank you very much, TP. No. Okay.
We can hear you, Bradley. Yeah.
Can
I
hear
think
me now.
yeah, I think maybe you turn off your video. It's like lagging unless it's my internet. Yeah. But we can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Sorry, Chris, I'll just turn off my video quickly just to ensure that there's proper network connections. Thank you, TP, for that welcome. And just to give like a quick background to why we are doing this as the Southern Africa Litigation Center in partnership with Matrix and Seingoli, because we have been carrying out this campaign to address hate speech and hate crimes that target vulnerable and marginalized communities across Southern Africa. And we've even seen before from different countries, from Botswana, Namibia, even in Lesotho, how there has been a series of hate crimes and hate speeches that are targeted towards indigenous groups, towards children, towards sexual and gender minorities, and even migrants. And even in our work, while carrying this out, we found that in several countries across Southern Africa, there's very few countries that have explicit legislation that one can use to address hate speech and hate crimes. But we do have several pieces of legislation that can be used to combat hate speech. And these also include our constitution and penal codes. And with this, in addition to having our legislation, there are also alternative avenues that we can use to address hate crimes. And part of that is the office of the Ombud. And in some countries, it's referred to as the National Human Rights Commission, where we as communities can go and report violations and seek redress and justice. So these platforms have been formed and mandated to receive and investigate and respond to various kinds of human rights violations. And we thought, why not have this webinar to also hear more from the Office of the Ombuds on how do we actually file complaints? How do we file reports of human rights violations with the Office of the Ombuds? And how do we even follow up and continue to engage with the office, but also understand what the mandate of the Office of the Ombuds really is. And with that, our good friends at the Office of the Ombuds, Advocate Maratsepile Motanyane, has gladly volunteered and offered to take us through this. So without further delay, I welcome Advocate Motanyane to just take us through it. Advocate, over to you. Hi, Advocate.
Hello, everybody.
Yes, we can hear you.
Am
Can
I
hear you.
audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for having me today. Like you have already said, my name is Maritepile Motanyane. I work at the Office of the Ombudsman, Lesotho. Today's presentation, the objective of it is to make sure that by the end of this presentation, everybody knows the mandate of the office, that we are able to identify human rights violations that we also know who may lodge a complaint at the office of the Ombudsman, as well as how complaints are filed, the process, and lastly, how the Office of the Ombudsman can work with civil society organizations to achieve the desired result. I will be taking you through the step-by-step guide to help citizens file complaints effectively. Firstly, I would like to talk a little bit about the formation of the office. The Office of the Ombudsman Lesotho was established following the adoption of the 1993 Constitution of Lesotho under Section 134, which created the office as an independent institution. The institution was later strengthened through the Ombudsman's Act number 9 of 1996, which outlined its powers, functions, and procedures. Now, what is the Ombudsman? One would wonder, what is this? So I want to a little bit let the people know that an ombudsman is a person and it is also the office. But when you talk about the office of the ombudsman, we're saying an ombudsman is the office that investigates complaints from aggrieved persons against government agencies and statutory corporations or officials of such agencies and organizations. The types of complaints that may be brought to the Office of the Ombudsman. We deal with maladministration. This includes delay in service, abuse of power, failure to follow procedures, and so on and so forth. We also deal with administrative corruption, injustice, human rights violations, and environmental degradation. Who can now lodge a complaint at the office? Residents or people living in Lesotho who feel they have been adversely affected by the actions of the government departments, agencies, or public authorities can come to the Office of the Ombudsman and lodge a complaint. Before you lodge a complaint, this is what you must know. You will have to a person will have to try resolve the issue in the ministry, within the ministry or the department, and will have to reach the highest level, being the chief accounting officer, and then gather evidence, it being the documents, emails, receipts, anything and everything that the person feels will be able to substantiate his claim. And we'll have to clearly define what the issue is. Going forward, okay, how to lodge a complaint. The law stipulates that the complaint must be in writing, covering the following. It must include your personal and contact details. It has to describe the substance of the allegation clearly and name the specified authority against whom the complaint is made. Lastly, the date on which the action or omission took place is vital. Another thing that needs to be noted is that if the complainant is not able to act for himself or herself, he cannot authorize an agent to act on their behalf. Where to submit this claim or this complaint? You can visit the Office of the Ombudsman, and it is found in Maseru, Mohalesuku, as well as Botaboti. We have recently opened or launched offices regionally. Or you can send the email or a letter to the office. Lastly, you can submit your complaint via social media platforms. We are there on Facebook. We also have the website where you can do that, or an email address that I will articulate at the end of the presentation. Let me run through this one. One would wonder what happens next after lodging a complaint. Then what do I expect as a complainant? The complaint is.
Advocate,
Come
sorry
again?
to disturb. People were just wondering if you have like a PowerPoint presentation that they could possibly see also from.
Oh yes, I do. It's just that not being techno savvy is not so nice. Somebody, the IT person just has just shown me how to do that, but I thought I was doing that, but unfortunately it wasn't happening. So I
And
don't
that's
know. I'm
fine.
about to finish. I'm about to finish, so
But you
I'll
can
have.
always share it in the chat for
Right.
everyone if
All
possible.
all
Okay.
right.
Thank you. Thank you.
I was saying, lastly, okay, firstly, what happens then after a person has lodged a complaint? The complaint is reviewed. It will have to go to the relevant investigating officer who will review it. After that, the ombudsman will finally give a go-ahead that the complaint should be investigated. It may be, or a person also may be contacted for more information, to give more evidence, to give more clarification where need arises. And lastly, an investigation will ensue, will be conducted, and at the end of the day, the recommendations um, will be given. Before I can talk about the recommendations, I think I will firstly talk about the fact that the ombudsman is also a mediator. So while dealing with the complaint, before we lock it into a formal investigation, we start firstly with ensuring that we can maybe start mediating. If the mediation process works well and the ministry complaint of resolves the situation, then the complaint is okay. But if the complainant and the ministry do not come to terms with whatever that the ombudsman is suggesting, what happens is we lock it into the formal investigation, which will later on produce the recommendations that the ombudsman will make to the relevant ministry. I think, or in case the ministry does not comply with the recommendations made, the ombudsman is mandated by the law to write a special report to the parliament for further action to be taken by the parliament and or the portfolio committee that will be dealing with the matter. I think, another thing is during the investigations, the ombudsman can find that the case does not have substance, or that the matter has been overtaken by events, or anything that the ombudsman can find that will hinder him or her from continuing with the investigation. So when that happens, the ombudsman dismisses a case. The tips for a strong complaint. When a person lodges a complaint, it has to be clear and concise. The person will have to provide factual information, avoid emotional language, and keep copies of everything that will substantiate his claim or his case. I think lastly, I will talk about how the CSOs can work with the Office of the Ombudsman. Um, we can work together by having joint public awareness education, or they can have individually educate people on the mandate of the Office of the Ombudsman. They can assist citizens to lodge complaints. Since we have already, I've just articulated what should be done, they can continue doing that and let the people know how they can lodge their complaints with the Office of the Ombudsman, thereby letting them fill the forms or helping them fill the forms. Uh, Another thing is they can also help in monitoring public service delivery, reporting to the Office of the Ombudsman systemic issues that they feel will have to be investigated further by our office. They can do also the advocacy or policy reform by lobbying Parliament to strengthen the Ombudsman's laws. We are now talking about having binding powers because almost everybody keeps on saying, but the Ombudsman, you're making very good recommendations, but how we wish this could be turned into a binding order, or yes, the binding order, so that at the end of the day, we know when the Ombudsman has spoken, um, it's not only Hannah, what do they call it? Toothless bulldog. So we are trying to deal with that. We don't want to be the toothless bulldog anymore. So they can help us with advocacy there. And we can also have trainings and capacity building, having joint training on common issues or common mandate areas. This is what I have prepared for you. I think I'll be guided by the questions to clarify some issues that are not even clear yet. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Advocate. And yeah, just a reminder also for everyone who would like to see the presentation that Advocate will share the presentation with us. Yeah, and it's very good to know that the office of the Ombud is also a mediator and tries to help solve issues between the various parties and so forth. So thank you, Advocate. I right now we're heading over to the Q&A session. So if there's anyone that has questions, you can put it in the comment box, or if you would like to speak, you can just raise your hand and we can see. Musa, I'll hand over to you.
Thank you so much. My name is Mosa Litziev, representing Inudi Legal Center, one of the organizing partners of today's webinar. Thank you very much, Advocate Motanyani, for that insightful and practical presentation on the mandate and the work of the Office of the Ombudsman, as well as the procedures for filing complaints and accessing remedies. I believe that the presentation has helped all of us to better understand the important role that the office plays as an accountability mechanism, particularly for vulnerable and marginalized individuals or communities who may be experiencing some sort of human rights violations, maladministration, or unfair treatment. We will now move into our open discussion and Q&A session. And I implore you that this session is intended to be interactive. So we encourage participants to engage, ask questions, share reflections, raise practical challenges they may have encountered, or even share their experiences in engaging with the accountability institution in their own work or within their own communities. So as we begin, I would like to invite participants to reflect on a few guiding questions, but you don't necessarily have to follow these questions to the letter. It's just for purposes of guidance to make the session as interactive as it could possibly be. Perhaps one of the questions we can try to reflect on: what are some of the common barriers communities or individuals have faced when attempting to report violations or when they attempt to seek remedies from the office? Or you can also reflect on your experiences, what limits communities or individuals from utilizing the institution, or how can CSOs and activists and community-based structures better support the communities in documenting and reporting these violations. Really, it should be anything. You can ask any question. I will now open the floor for questions and comment and reflections.
There's a few questions in the chat box. We can help read those out
Yeah, let
for
me
the
see.
other.
Let me see. Okay, I see a question from Advocate Lerato Khutlang, who, in fact, those are two questions. Whether does the Office of the Ombudsman have jurisdiction over a parastatal? Does the Office of the Ombudsman have jurisdiction to give recommendations relating to compensation or damages emanating from a breach, from a contractual breach by a parastatal? Oh, and there's another one from Bogambani. Does the Office of the Ombudsman also accept filing of complaints as a community and not necessarily as an individual? Advocate Mutanyani, could you kindly answer or react to the three questions? Two from Advocate Hutlang and another from Bogambani.
Thank you so much, Musa. The first question, which talks about the parastatals. Yes, the Office of the Ombudsman deals with matters also from parastatals, though in a limited way, I would say, because we don't engage into matters that deals with the contractual ones. We do deal with them, but to a certain extent, but we do not deal with labor matters from parastatals, but also only the ones that involves maladministration, while the parastatal is giving services to the public. So that will also cover the breach of the contract. Yes, we can deal with that. Coming to the third question, filing of complaints by the groups. Yes, the Ombudsman accepts matters brought to it if they are brought by an individual as well as a group. Thank you.
Thank you, Advocate Mpolokeng. Advocate Motanyan, I see there's also a question from one Mpolokeng. It's not necessarily a question, but she's requesting of the advocate to tie the presentation back to hate crimes.
Well, the hate crimes that I think Lesotho is fortunate enough that we do not deal with obvious hate crimes, but the crimes that happens, especially at the correctional facilities, the Ombudsman has recently issued a report that articulated crimes that happened in there that we feel were a little bit linked to the hate crimes. So the Ombudsman gave out the recommendations, and that matter was dealt with. It has even gone to the courts of law, though the matter has not been concluded yet. But the Office of the Ombudsman is available for anyone who sees such crimes, they can be reported to us as long as they deal with administrative issues. Because when it's a crime, it has to be reported to the police, not the Office of the Ombudsman. But when you're dealing with the administrative part of it, especially when it's been perpetrated by government ministries or agencies, it's then that we can accept the matter and deal with it. Thank you.
Thank you, Advocate. Yes,
Good morning,
I've seen this
lebitso la ka.
from Mem Bulakang. May
Thank
go
you so
ahead.
much. Lebitso la ka ke Mpolokeng Magema, ke sebetsa Office of Parliamentary Council. Ke a leboha advocate for your response. Ke mpa fela ke tshoha hore when you say that there are no obvious hate crimes, we are fortunate. I would like to beg to differ. Hobane ke re, if hate crimes are not obvious in Lesotho, it means it's scarier because it means Basotho are suffering in silence. Empa ke maikutlo wa ka. Ke kopa hore ke re, I would like to start off by saying when you were providing hore na motho o tlameha ho qala kae a ye kae to report ditaba tsena tse wallang ka tsona, o ile wa hlalosa hore they have to go to the highest level and ensure that to the chief accounting officer specifically. Jwale ke batla hore ke botse hore na does this include taba ya Mosotho ya sa utlwisiseng le mokgwa wa tshebetso ka hare ho naha Lesotho, empang fela a kopaneng le mathata eo a utlwang a hloka ho tlaleha ho monamodi. Ke be ke botse hore na monamodi in this instance o fana ka guidance e phethahetseng, re sa re Mosotho a keneng sekolo, re re Mosotho le yanene ya sa tsebeng le ntho e a nang le mathata a hlokang ho ya ha monamodi, ke late motho a tleliniking ka motseng, motho a sebeleditsweng maponeseng ane ya ka motseng. Potso ya ka ke kopa ho itlatselletsa hape ke na le potso tse pedinyana. Ke kopa ho botsa hore hape o buile ka taba ya ena, ha o bua ka taba ena ya reporting, ke botse hore na casing tsa batho beo livelihood ya bona kapo maphelo a bona a ka bang tsietsing ka ho reporta, does the Office of the Ombudsman provide any type of protection? Haholo ha o hlalositse hore motho o tlameha ho bua lebitso la hae le dinomoro tsa hae, kutlwa e ka ekare advocate mpa fela o siile motse. It means that person is going to be well known. Is there a way the Office of the Ombudsman e protecta Mosotho eo a je haholo ha tlaleha ditaba tse ka behang bophelo ba hae tsietsing? Ke ya bobedi. Ya boraro e leng ya ho qetela ko hore o bontshitse hore where the Office of the Ombudsman e fumanang hore ha hona ditaba moo ke lileng teng, Office of the Ombudsman dismisses the case. Ke kopa ho botsa hore na mokgwa o nepahetseng o Office of the Ombudsman o sebedisang hore o tlo o hopole hore motho enwa a llang le haeba ombudsman ha utlwa eka ka go fihle mo a ka qosang kapo a kena dipakeng ka ho fella a ntse a hopola hore this is the aggrieved party. So mokgwa o Office of Ombudsman o sebedisang to try and make this person who was crying aware hore ka nnete ka lebaka le itseng le itseng le itseng re sita ho tswela pele ka nyewe ya hao, e ka ba ko ofeng o bontshang hore o na le tshireletso ya Mosotho le well-being ya Mosotho including emotionally? Ke a leboha.
Dipotso tse ngata Mempolokeng, ke a leboha haholo. Ke kgolwa ya pele eo neng o botsa ka yona ya hore na motho na ko hore fela ba lo fihla ho the highest authority e leng PS. Ya mme takatso ya rona ebile tebello ya rona ke hore motho a lo fihla ho motho eo e le moikarabelo le lekaleng leo a llang ka lona. Lebaka le leholo ke hobane monamodi ha batla ho ba ntshunya gage. Ho na le menyetla e mengata eo ka nako e nngwe ha o qeta ho fumana tshebeletso e bohla, jwale o ikutlwa hore ke hloka hore ke tletlebe, o ka wa reng ke kopa ho bona mookamedi wa hao mme Motanyane, hobane jwale ke utlwa ke sa thabela tshebeletso eno eo mphileng yona. O hlolehang hore o fumane mookamedi, jwale ebe ke hona o ka reng mohlomong le ho motho wa security fela a ko mthupise ofisi ya mookamedi. O hlolehang ho bona mookamedi ya jwalo, ke mona moo jwalo o tla tshwanela hore o tlo e lebe kae, o tlo lebe ho the highest authority, because monamodi yena ha a fumana tletlebo o botsa yena elwa ya hodimo ya tlhorong hore na o so o entse eng ho sebeletsa motho ya itseng moo a tletlebang ka boemo bo tjena ka motho ya itseng. Mme ha fela mookamedi kapa ena PS a sa re ke tseba ditaba tsena ke di sebeditse ehlile re ke stand sa rona ke stand sa rona seno rona re ke ra mosebeletsa kapa re ke a fumana thuso eo a e hlokang, e re kgutlisetsa morao hobane rona re ntse re tlotla re kgutlela lekaleng hobane lekala le santsane le bonahala le na le takatso ya hore le tle le sebetse ditaba tsa hao. Ka nako tse ding ehlile o tla fumana taba di a tlalewa kwano ho rona ha re botse be re fumana hore motho eno ha a fihla bookamedi bo ka hodimo, mme ha re fumana hore ha a fihla bookamedi bo ka hodimo, mookamedi ya jwalo a re tlisang motho eno a tla kwano ke tlo mo sebeletsa. So re bone e senyetsa batho nako ya back and forth e ngata, re hle re batle a hla a tsamaya ba lo fihla ka hodimo e tle re jwale ha tloa teng a re ke hlotse ho sebeletswa kapa ha ke sitisitswe ho bona ntate PS kapa mme PS e be lwana ka tlang ofising ya monamodi. Ke a leboha. Ebe enono ke dumela hore e tlabe se bile ya arabela le taba hore na mosotho elo ya tlase ofisi ya monamodi boholo ba nako mentle le ke gola moneng ke utlwisisa ka re tlameha hore re tle re bue sekgowa fela re skebe ga nna ga kenyeletsa Sesotho. Ha ile hantle ofisi ya monamodi e etsa di-outreach campaigns tse ngata le dipitso, mme dipitso mono re bua ka sotho le mosotho ya tlase mane ya tlo utlwa hore na methati ya tshwanelang ho e latela ke efeng, ke tlasa boemo bofeng bo a tla tshwanela hore a utlwe hore jwale mona ke bosebeletsi bo bobe, mona ke kgatukelo ya ditokelo tsa ka tsa mantlha tsa botho. Mme ofisi ka nnete e ikitleditse haholo ho etsa bonnete ba hore tse jwalo di a etsahala. Taba ya tshireletsoho ya motho ya tlisang ditaba ho rona, ena motho ya jwalo o tla hlaha re bolelle hore taba tsena tsa ka le rona fela re tla hle re utlwe hore taba tsena di sensitive, e re ke tle ko etsetse mohlala. Ka nako ye nngwe selemo sena sa ho feta 2023 ke sare ho ile hwa ba le sello se sengata haholo sa Basotho mo baneng ba lla ka hore ditho tsa sesole di fihla malapeng a bona e le masiu e le hoseng ka meso di a ba hula ba hlekefetswa ba gagathwa ho ba ditaba tse jwalo. Ile ba Basotho ba bangata ba ileng ba kopana le maemo a jwalo, mme ba bang ba bona ba ile na batla ofising ya rona ho tla tlaleha ditaba tseno. Monamodi o ile a sebetsa taba eo ntle le hore a bolele mabitso a batho ba ileng batla. Jwale hona ho bolela hore ha fela re tsebile sensitivity ya case eo e tlisang ho rona ebile le wena o boletse hore ha ke lakatse ha nka ka tsejwa haholo ke the ministry kapa the responding ministry, nono e tlo re jwetsa e tlo re bolella hore re tshwanela ho sireletsa insulate you hore o hlahelle hore na ko wena mang, but rona re tla be re tseba hore re ntse re sebetsana le mang e ska ka re ntse re sebetsa di-case tsa ditaba tsa boipapeelo. Ke a leboha ke gola ke tla ho yenana ya ho qetela mme polokeng o kong hopotse yena hantle ke bona ka ekare ke ne se o no so bua ka pelenyana ke bona ka ha ke a ngola sohle ho fella. Hello.
Ma'am Polokeng, hello.
Thank you so much. Ke ne ke sena monyetla wa ho unmute fela ntle le tumello. Ya ho qetela ke taba ya where the ombudsman are dismissing case. How do they undertake the communication with the person at tlisitseng case? Ke a leboha.
Ke a leboha mme ke a e hopola. Ofisi ya monamodi ha e fumana ka baka la ka baka la hore ile ya etsa dipatlisiso kapa diphuputso tse keneletseng ho fumana hore jwale taba ena mohlomong ha ena mmoko, re bitsa motho ya tlileng ka tletlebo e jwalo, re tlo dula fatshe le yena re mo hlalosetsa mabaka eo re reng jwale taba tsa hao re tlo di qhelela ka thoko. Ena boholo ba nako ke hle ke tjho 90% of the time e etsuwa sefahleho e le hona ho fa motho dignity ya hore a ska bona ekare ditaba tsa hae di lahlwa fela ebile a sa tsebe le ho tseba mohlomong ebile a sa tsebe mabaka. Hape the 10% e salang re a ngola fatshe re o etsetsa kore la ka ba o tlatla but re ngola fatshe go qaqisetse hantle hore na hobaneng ditaba tsa hao di sa tlo amoheleha ofising ya monamodi re ipapisitse le melao e feng. Ke a leboha mme hape re boetse re ka boetse ra refera ha re bona hore motho enwa mohlomong a ka sebeletswa mohlomong ha bobebe kapa hantle ka tsela e nepahetseng kapa ditaba tsa hae di wela ka hara ditaba tse ka sebetswang mohlomong ke setsi sa bobodu le bomenemene, re se re nka difomo tsa rona tse lokelehang re fa motho ya jwalo re mo referela sebakeng seo a ka yang ho sona hore a fumane thuso. Ke a leboha mme.
Thank you so much. There's another question in our chat from one Bataung Toko, who is inquiring whether the Office of the Ombudsman has offices in all the 10 districts of Lesotho. If not, are there any advocacy or outreach initiatives being undertaken to ensure that communities in the hard to reach areas are aware of the existence and services of this important office?
Okay, mme.
Over to you, advocate. Yes.
Ke a leboha, mme. Ofisi ya monamodi ha jwale e ntse e soka e fihlela ditereke tse 10. Empa selemo se fetileng jwalo ka ke se ke hlalositse ofisi e ile ya fumana thuso ho tswa ho bafani ba ileng ba re thusa hore ofisi di tle di fumanahale regionally e leng Mohalesuku mmoho le Bothabothe. Jwale Mohalesuku e tla sebeletsa bana ba ka lehlakoreng la yona le Bothabothe e sebeletse ba ka lehlakoreng la yona. Maseru e tla tshwara yona mmoho le Thabatseka, ho sa thibele hore motho ya bang o mona berea a ka tla ofising ya mona modie Maseru re ntse re mo sebeletsa. Empa ofisi ya Bothabothe e se e akareletsa ho tloha mokgotlong e theosa jwalo ho tla kwano. Sena se bolela hore ofisi ya monamodi ha e bolele hore ofisi ya monamodi jwale e se e emisitse hore e ka fihlella the hard to reach places. Re ntse re etsa jwalo, advocacy ya rona e hlile ntse le ba hona mane metseng le metsaneng moo e reng ha re fihlile teng re etsa bonnete ba hore re akareletsa metse e mengata. Re bitsetse mohlomong ofising ya morena wa sehloho re ke re tlo dulang fatshe re qoqa ditaba tse ba amang tse re amang tse amang Lesotho kaofela ka kakaretso tse amanang le ofisi ya monamodi. Ke a leboha.
Thank you,
Le hona jwale re sentse re tlotla re
advocate.
leba ke kopa tshwarelo hanyane le hona jwale re sentse re tlo leba seterekeng sa Mafikeng mo re tla be re atela metse e mengata haholo hore re tlotla re etsa yona advocacy ena. Ke a leboha, mme.
Thank you, advocate. Oh, there's also another one from one Daniel. I am not sure, hobane ke utlwile ka ekare you've already touched on taba tsa confidentiality and how the office ensures how it ensures
Yeah.
confidentiality of
Yes,
the complainant. But jwale ha ke sure haebe Ntate Daniel was able to access the information on share hobane o no bua ka Sesotho. Could you kindly try to respond in English so that he's able to access the information you're sharing?
Okay, ma'am. The Office of the Ombudsman ensures confidentiality in cases where it is evident that the matter is sensitive. It needs to be handled in a sensitive way. We insulate and ensure that everybody reporting a claim is accorded necessary protection if need be. So yes, Ndate Daniel, that's what we do. If you report the matter to the Office of the Ombudsman, it is mandated that you have to tell us the names and the addresses, everything. But we make sure that the responding authority or anyone else cannot get that information. It is only accessible to the investigators or the investigating officer as well as the ombudsman only. Thank you.
Thank you, advocate. There's another question from one Paseka Molapo, who's inquiring whether, with regards to the, in fact, this question relates to the fact of the non-binding nature of the recommendations by the Office of the Ombudsman. What measures has the Office of the Ombudsman taken to try and have a bidding say as opposed to being a toothless bulldog? I'm thinking because in South Africa, the public protector more or less has similar role of our ombudsman, but the used media for public and political pressure and some strategic litigation, for example, judicial review application and constitutional interpretation, have all led to the public protector being powerful and influential, but of course with some flaws here and there. So has the ombudsman tried any of this? What measures have they taken to move from relatively being a quiet administrative office into a far more influential constitutional accountability institution?
It is the current ombudsman has this one at heart. She really wants this to happen. So we have tried during the interactions with the committees involved and working on the 10th Amendment. This is what we have tried to do. We have also lobbied the Senate into coming into our side on the binding issue or the binding effect of the recommendations of the ombudsman. So we have done all we can, and so far we are waiting on the parliament to accept what we have already presented, but it is in the pipeline, and it is.
Thank you, Advocate. Are there any further contributions, comments, reflections that participants would love to share? From the chat box, I think we've covered, oh, I think there's one more that just popped. Let me see. From Me Mbulukeng Mahema. In relation to the question of confidentiality, international best practices have been making moves towards anonymous reporting for the protection of the reporting person. Has the Ombuds Office looked into these? Are there any considerations towards receipts of such reports or even using technology?
Thank you so much, Me. The taba ya Membulukeng, taba ya ho tlaleha ditaba ke sa ipolele. Office ya mona modi ho fihleletse ha jwale e sebedisa o tla nkwa wena o le a whistleblower fela. Ha o sa batle ho hang ho tsebahala hore na ko wena mang, we take you as the whistleblower, and ha re fumana hore ditaba tsa hao fela di na le mmoko, re tla investigate kapa re tla kena into that investigation. Re se re nka e le ntho e bitswang own motion. Monamodi o na le molao o mo fa hore ka bo yena a ka i-prompta to investigate a matter ho sena motho a e tlalehileng. So to insulate motho a reng ka nnete ke kopa tle se ke hwa tsebahala letho ka nna le wena monamodi ke utlwa ke sa lakatse hore o tsebe le hore na lebitso la ka ke mang, but tseba hore ho etsala ditaba tse tjena tse tjena tse tjena tse tjena ebile mohlomong ho sona le di-victim tse itseng. Seno ha re tlo tla re se nka re Membulukeng ke yena a tlisitseng ditaba, but re tlo di nka re anonymously ho ile ha ba le taba e tjena, mme monamodi ha kenya dinala fatshe a fumana hore taba ena e fela e le jwalo, ke ka hona jwale a ileng a etsa ntho e bitswang own motion investigation. That one is different from investigation e promptwang ke motho a tlisang a complaint. Ke a leboha.
Thank you, Advocate. I don't think we have any other comments or questions or reflections from our chat. Okay, well, I would now like to thank you very much, everyone, for your active participation and thoughtful contributions. I think today's discussion has highlighted the importance of strengthening collaboration between civil society organizations and accountability institutions in order to improve access to justice and effective remedies. It has also reinforced the importance of public awareness. I think that was also shared, and ensuring that accountability mechanisms remain accessible, responsive, and people-centered. And with that, I would like to thank the Office of the Ombudsman for the engagement and all the participants for contributing to this important conversation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Memosa. I'm deeply honored.
And thank you very much, Advocate. Thank you very much, Musa, for leading the Q&A, and to TP as well. I don't know if I want to quickly put you on the spotlight, TP, just quickly highlight the work that Matrix has been doing, particularly focusing on hate crimes. If you're at liberty to do so, and how the Office of the Ombuds and the community can continue to support Matrix.
Yeah. Um, Completely. I wasn't ready for that. But anyway, we have been working closely with Ministry of Law and Justice and community organizations and individuals, together with the members of parliament and other sectors of the community, to assess. Firstly, we assessed whether we have laws that speaks to hate crime and hate speech. And we have a report of the research that was done through support of Human Dignity Trust. And following that, we had engagement discussions with the structures, the community structures, to understand if there's a need for the country to perhaps draft a hate crime and hate speech law. And following the discussions that we had, we realized that actually, when we go to the hate speech, it might take long, and also it requires much of our time. So we focused on the hate crimes. So as we speak, the Minister of Law and Justice, through the Office of the Minister and the Attorney General, committed to lead the the drafting of or just the regulation of hate crimes in the country. So we have ongoing discussions and campaigns that we do with the civil society organizations, together with other partners, to ensure that that is led by Matrix, to ensure that at least Basotho have understanding of what hate crimes are, and also what hate speech is. So on the currently we are waiting for the first draft of the hate crime law, so that we can look into it and also share with the communities, to make sure that at least it is addressing the issues that we both agree that it has to highlight or regulate. And hopefully that will be then around September, October, which is the first leg that we'll be embarking on. And then we'll continue on the discussions at both community level and national level, to ensure that hate crimes are regulated in the country. So yeah, for the Office of the Ombudsman and the rest of the team being from the civil society organizations, I think the plea for the civil society organizations and their office is that we perhaps join forces in the campaign, to ensure that at least when the law has been passed, then Basotho are fully aware of what hate crimes are, and how best they can document and report and file complaints on hate crimes, so that we don't have the laws that are being sitting on the shelves without implementation. And also for enforcement and public policy, policy dissemination at that level. So highly appreciate it if we could get much of the support from everybody else. And that is in the nutshell what I can say. We're still in the journey, and we are hopeful that it will yield the results that we want as the country. Thank you.
Thank you very much, TP, and the team at Matrix for spearheading that. We will continue to be in touch, and just follow the developments, and also just see how we can also support from our side, also at the Southern Africa Litigation Center. There was a quick question from I lost it now. Oh, where did it go? From Pavalo. Yes, there is a recording that is live on Facebook. But also, if folks want a copy of it, we will share a link to everyone of this webinar. Yeah, I think we've come to the end of this webinar. Once again, thank you very much, Advocate, for your insights. This has been very, very helpful. And I hope this is not the end of our engagements, but we'll continue to engage also. SLC, thank you for being a part of this. Matrix, thank you for being a part of it. And to everyone who showed up, ra leboga. Have a good afternoon, everyone.
Thank you so much. Have a good afternoon, everyone.
Thank you and bye.
Njeme moja njehona Jera utadi bula itela Kesa ikopota lena levatse Ohle gele sotu ohle Njeme moja njehona Jera utadi bula itela Kesa ikopota lena levatse